in Excel, April 2023, question 22. The question reads, you work as the management accountant of Majani Limited, which deals in tea production and export. Before embarking on next year's budgeting, you are tasked with analyzing past revenue and price trends. As a starting point, your supervisor has provided you with historical price and production data as shown in the worksheet management XLS. So there's a data that was given there. Now you have date, production. This is production can expand this, though that is too big, which means we can use wrap text so that it's all visible. Wrap text. Now we have date, production, million per kg, then price per kg. But the data is big. I want you to click on the first data, then control and down arrow key. Just do control and down arrow key. It takes you up to 162. So if you're scrolling, you're moving up to 162. Required, plot a line graph for price against time stroke dates. Insert a linear trend line displaying the equation and R squared on that particular chart. Then briefly discuss your results. That was 14 marks. Number B, using a suitable MS Excel function, show that the coefficients shown in the trend line in A above are in fact a result of linear estimation between the historical prices and time. Number C, you know that prices are affected by production. Because of this, you like to run a regression between price, production, and time. Now use data analysis toolpack to run the regression analysis, interpret your results. Be sure to discuss the coefficients and also parameters. So that is what was required in this question, which is 20 marks. Part A, plotting of a line graph for price against time. So scroll up, and we are here at the top. Now price per kg against time. Price per kg against time. Click on date. Then control the date, the title date, control shift down arrow key. So control shift down arrow key together. You select that. Then move up, scroll up. Now hold down the control key. Click on price per kg while holding down the control key. Then again, control shift down arrow key. That will be selected like that. So once you've selected your data, the way ours is selected, go to the insert menu, insert, then recommended chart. Then I want us to go for line, or you can go to all so that we can get line, all, then line. Then after line, click on just the first one. The first one is just okay, then okay. Now we have the chart. Control X to cut it. Control X will cut it, then move down and paste it here. Control V. Make it big. Yes. Once you have the chart ready, you can bring in some editing like chart title. The title is already here, so bring axis title. Then grid line, you can go for what you want. I prefer the minor. I remove the major under grid line. Then the title, a chart showing price against time stroke date. x-axis, time, stroke date. This other side, price per kg, price per kg. If you want to change the designs, maybe the color, you simply pick another color of your choice. With the chart ready, with this chart ready, let us see what they wanted next. Insert a linear trend line displaying the equation and r squared on the chart, then discuss your results. So again, on the chart, we want to have a linear trend line. Click on this plus, then you will see a trend line. Can click on the arrow, click on this arrow under trend line, then click on linear. They want a linear trend line. There is exponential trend line, there is linear forecast trend line, there is 2-period moving average, there is more options. So we are going for linear. Just click on linear trend line. Then after linear trend line, they also wanted us to display the r squared. So display the equation and r squared. So again, click on this plus where there was trend line, click on the arrow. Now click on the arrow, then go to more options. This time round, go to more options. More options. Then scroll down. You will see trend line options. Is it exponential, linear, logarithmic, polynomial, power, or moving average? So scroll down. We've already selected linear. Then look at set intercept. There is set intercept. There is display equation on the chart. They wanted us to display the equation on the chart. That is the equation. Just check. What else? Apart from displaying the equation, r squared on the chart as well. So also display the r square on the chart. If you want, you can set intercept, but we don't want the intercept. So remove that intercept. So just display the equation on the chart and also display the r squared on the chart. After that, click back inside your chart. You can close this part. And we are left with explaining, discuss your results. Now, these are the item they wanted. You can move this up a bit. Then you can go to the home menu under fill color. You can give it some nice fill color. Make it more visible. Equation and r square. Here, I want us to create a space for explanation of the result, the explanation of the result, and create a small space where we want to explain what is happening as our result. So explanation of the result. Now the regression equation, the regression equation above shows that there is a positive relationship. There is a positive relationship between price per kg and the time stroke date and the time stroke date as shown by the variable cost per unit. Variable cost per unit of, so the variable cost per unit between the two is 0.0287 of 0.0287. We'll stop and say IE increase or change in time stroke date results into increase in price per kg, price per kg. So the fixed cost is negative 953.18. Now proceeding to the R square, coefficient of determination. So the coefficient of determination in bracket R square of 41.33 of 0.4 to 0.4133 shows that 41.33 of 41.33% of the changes in prices per kg are as a result of changes in time, while the rest is because of other factors. The rest is because of other factors. So that is the explanation of what we've seen up there. So results into this one can be adjusted because it's changing by 0.0827. So that can be changed a bit. Now the next part of the question wanted, this number B, part B, using a suitable MS Excel function, show that the coefficients shown in the trend line in A above are in fact a result of linear estimation between the historical prices and time. So Excel function, we want an Excel function. Task that it does, what does it do? Then result. So what does it do? Then result. So they want us to get the same answers, but through the use of the Excel function. Now the first one that we have in our chart, the first item that we have in our chart is the equation. Y is equal to 0.0287x plus minus 953.1x. So we want to use the slope function. That will give us the variable cost per unit, gets the variable cost per unit. If you want to get the variable cost per unit, you use the slope function. If you want to use the fixed cost, if you want to get the fixed cost, you use the intercept function. Fixed cost. That will give us the fixed cost. RSQ function. Now the RSQ function will give you coefficient of determination. slope function, get the variable cost per unit. So you'll see equal sign, then slope, equal sign slope, tab, non-Ys, and then non-X, non-Ys, and then non-X. So you'll scroll up. Y will be the dependent. So click on the first 182.39, 182.39, Control Shift down arrow key, that is non-Y. Scroll up, hold down the Control key and click on the 2010-01 here, 2010-01 with the Control key held down, then Control Shift down arrow key, Control Shift down arrow key. We have this. Close those brackets and enter. You're going to get the slope. Now to get the fixed cost, you use the intercept. So equal sign intercept, intercept. Double click on the intercept. Scroll up. Click on 182.39, the price per kg, non-Y. Non-Y. Remember, Y is the price per kg, the dependent variable. Then Control Shift and down arrow key, comma, move up. Hold down the Control key and click on the 2010-0101. After the comma, then Control Shift down arrow key, Control Shift down arrow key. Close those brackets and enter. That will give you a fixed cost of 953.18, which is the same as the fixed cost that we have in our equation. Now for the coefficient of determination, use RSQ, so equal sign RSQ, tab, non-Ys, move up. Price, click on 182.39, Control Shift down arrow key, comma, move up again. Hold down the Control key and click on 2010-0101, then Control Shift down arrow key. Close those brackets and then enter. That will return 0.4133. Now on to the last question, number C. It was 4 marks. Number C. That is our number C. You know that prices are affected by production. Because of this, you like to run a regression between price, production, and time. Use data analysis toolpack to run regression analysis. Interpret your results. Be sure to discuss the coefficients and parameters. Now to solve this question, we are going to use the analysis toolpack and run a regression of everything that we have. So go to data menu, then under data, you'll see the analysis group. Just click on data analysis. Then once you open data analysis, this will pop up. Find regression. This is regression. Find regression by scrolling. You'll just see regression is here. Then click on OK. Regression, then OK. Now, we have the input Y range, the input X, the labels, the confidence, the output options, then residuals. Start with input Y. Y is the dependent variable. Now scroll up to your data. Now on date, production, and price per kg, price per kg is the dependent variable. while date and production in kgs are the independent variable. So we are saying price is the y, while date and production is the x. This is a case of multiple regression, where we have two independent variable and one dependent variable. Now click on input y and make sure the cursor is blinking on input y. Then click on the word price per kg. The word price per kg, this other side. The word price per kg. Then Control Shift down arrow key. Control Shift down arrow key. You've selected it all. Now then click on the input X, where there is input X range, the blank box. Input X, your cursor should be blinking here. Scroll up. Now this time round, select date and production together. The word date and production together this way. Select the two inside the input X range. Then Control Shift down arrow key. Remember I selected date and production in kgs. Then Control Shift down arrow key. Those have been selected. Now, since in our selection I included the titles, that is row 7, then my data has labels. So check labels. But if I had selected from row 8, then I'll not need labels. So this one I'm going to pick labels because my data contains the column headings. Constant is not 0, so don't check this. Don't check this. Now, unless confidence interval is different, is when you check this and adjust. But by default, the confidence interval is just 95. So you can just leave it. It will just be 95. Unless you want to change, is when you check this and pick another one. But by default, the confidence interval is 95. Output range, where do you want your answer to go? So output range. Under the output options, I'm going for output range, not new worksheet, no, new workbook, no. If you say new worksheet, it will go to a new worksheet, another worksheet in this workbook. But if you say new workbook, it will create a new workbook. So we are saying output range, meaning we want to specify that it goes to this worksheet, but now where? So output range, make sure the cursor is blinking here. Scroll down and tell Excel that you want your answer to be here, cell B216 in my case, just here. So this is where my answer will be. I've clicked here and you can see it shows B216. Now they don't want any residuals. They don't want residuals, they don't want standardized residuals, they don't want residual plots, line fits, leave them, don't check anything. Leave all these residuals and just click on OK. That will give you your result. This is my result, my regression output result. Our final output, the question said, use that analysis to run a regression and be sure to interpret your results. Be sure to discuss the coefficients. So we want to interpret our results. I'm copying this and pasting here. But this is wrapped because the data is not that. Then this is what I'll say. This is a case of multiple regression. Then proceed and say the regression equation shows that where is the regression equation or the regression result? The regression result shows that now we have date and price. You can see date is positive, but we have date, and I can expand here before I proceed so that we see this well. This is price per kg. The intercepts are here, the intercept, debt, and production per kg. These are the coefficients that we use. So the regression result shows that change in debt stroke time results into increase in price per kg as shown. Result per kg by 0.031. This is 0.031. On the other hand, increase in production or change in production per kg, or we can talk of increase in production and not change but increase in production per kg results into a decrease in price per kg by negative 0.7411. So there is therefore a positive relationship between price per kg and debt stroke time, and a negative relationship between production in kgs and price per kg This is production in kgs. Need to change this, production in kgs. Then you can also go ahead and say that the fixed cost is 1006.44. Now the coefficient of determination R square so R square is here 0.419 of 0.419 shows that 41.9% of variation in price per kg are as a result of changes in debt stroke time and production in kgs, while the rest are because of other factors. The rest are because of other factors. So that is the end of our question that has been solved for April 2023, question 22. That's how you run everything that they said and also come up with the decision as required.